Important news articles of 20th January 2022 useful for IAS, UPSC, State Civil Services and all other competitive exams. The Honorable Supreme Court on Wednesday decided to take the reins and marshal the efforts to pay compensation to the families that lost their relatives to COVID-19 after noticing that some states responded to the humanitarian move in a lukewarm fashion. A bench of Justice M.R. Shah and Sanjeev Khanna told the states that many of these families were economically challenged. They may have been further crippled by the fact that COVID-19 took away their sole breadwinner. The court said payment of Rs 50,000 each as ex gratia to the loved ones of every COVID-19 patient was a welfare gesture and so essential to a welfare state. Delays and bureaucratic red tape to release the money or process the application did not augur well. Moreover, application for compensation ought not to be rejected merely on technical glitches. Every reason for denying a claim should be recorded, it noted. The court summoned the Chief Secretary of Andhra Pradesh and Bihar for non-payment of compensation to kin of victims. It is unfortunate that we have to call out state after state like this. Every state believes that people are at its mercy, it said. In the post-lunch session, however, the Andhra Pradesh Chief Secretary said the state has received 49,292 applications for compensation, of which 31,000 were found eligible. Bihar had also received over 10,000 claims for compensation. The court ordered to states to reach out specially to children orphaned by pandemic and whose details have been uploaded on the Bal Seva portal of the National Commission for Protection of Child Rights (NCPCR). The union government is planning to acquire for itself overriding powers to transfer IAS and IPS officers through central deputation, doing away with the requirement of taking the approval of the state government. The Department of Personnel and Training (DOPT) wrote to the states on January 12 that the union government proposes to amend Rule 6 Deputation of Cadre Officers of the Indian Administrative Service Cadre Rules 1954. The centre's move is to set to put it in a collision course with the states, particularly those ruled by opposition. At least 6 state governments had written to DOPT opposing the move, and they include the states governed by BJP and its allies. The letter comes in wake of shortage of All India service officers in the union ministries. The DOPT in its communication said states are not sponsoring an adequate number of officers for central deputation, and the number of officers is not sufficient to meet the requirement at the center. The DOPT had earlier sent 3 letters on December 20 and 27 and January 6 seeking comments from the states, but after the states opposed the move, the rest did not respond. It further revised the proposal. The new Haryana law may hit jobs growth stakeholders. With the law guaranteeing 75% reservation to locals in the private sector jobs in Haryana coming into force earlier this month, the reigning sentiment among various stakeholders is one of disruption. Industrialists, migrant workers and contractors remain wary of its repercussions on the business and employment prospects. The law was one of the major poll promises of Jana Nayak Janata Party (JJP), the junior partner in the coalition government in Haryana. The matter is in the court. 3 industry associations from Gurugram, Faridabad, Rewari have sought judicial recourse. In a petition filed before the Punjab and Haryana High Court, they contended that the new law goes against the constitutional provisions and the basic principle of merit underpinning the private sector growth. The court has issued notice to state government and scheduled the next hearing on February 2. It is very, very myopic of the political class, said Manmohan Gain, General Secretary, Manesar Industries Welfare Association, one of the petitioners in the case. Almost 99% employees in micro, small and medium enterprises (MSME) earn less than 30,000 and fall under the purview of new law. MSMEs hire and lay off workers based on demand. Finding locals with requisite skills every time would not be possible, he said. Survey findings. An internal survey by the Garment Exporters and Manufacturers Association last year had revealed that more than 82% may not consider Haryana for expansion in case the new law was not repealed or the industry not exempted from its provisions. An equal number believed that they would not be able to source adequate skilled workers from Haryana only. Though the law allows relaxation to hire non-locals in certain conditions, the industrialists are skeptical. If I need people today, I cannot wait for 3 months for the DC office to grant me permission, said one. 3/4 reservation in jobs would also skew the workforce balance between locals and migrants and disrupt the smooth running of businesses, feel industry insiders. The locals are by definition more entrenched vis-a-vis the migrants and difficult to control. The migrants too fear rampant job losses. Though the residency condition for a domicile certificate under the new law has been reduced to 5 years from 15, it is a distant dream for a migrant who cannot even get a ration card or a voter identity card after staying here for years. Economic recovery is yet to attain durability, says ICRA. Early data for January is weak following reimposition of curbs to check the third wave. Rating agency ICRA said while there was some evidence of economic recovery becoming broad-based in third quarter of fiscal 2022, it was yet to attain the durability being sought by the Monetary Policy Committee as a precursor to policy transmission. The agency expects real GDP to expand 6 to 6.5% year on year in the third quarter, that is 8.4%. It also sees the RBI maintaining the status quo in the upcoming monetary policy review to be held in February. Chief economist Aditi Nair said economic activity rebounded in December, even as many sectors continued to trail the performance recorded in October. Encouragingly, the quarterly data suggests a modest broad basing of the recovery relating to QT when compared to respective pre-COVID-19 volumes. However, the onset of third wave of COVID-19 has triggered state-wise restrictions, which have expectedly interrupted the momentum in ongoing month, reiterating the recovery is yet to attain durability. The agency said that year-on-year performance of 10 of the 15 high-frequency indicators improved in December compared to November 2021. These include generation of GST e-way bills, non-oil merchandise exports, electricity generation, two-wheeler output, as well as aggregate deposit and non-food credit of scheduled commercial banks. SOP, Standard Operating Procedure to operate trains after an earthquake likely. The Indian Railways is in the process of devising a Standard Operating Procedure SOP for operating trains immediately after an earthquake. The Railway Board has written to the General Managers of Zonal Railways to share their views on the safe operation of trains after the occurrence of an earthquake. Almost a year after the issue was flagged by the Northern Railway Principal Chief Engineer C.P. Gupta, who pointed out that railways had not issued any guidelines or rules for running trains after the occurrence of an earthquake. The top management has decided to formulate an SOP, sources in the Southern Railway said here on Wednesday. The General and Subsidiary Rules G&SR, the manual which is the fulcrum of passenger and freight train operations over Indian Railways, had not stipulated any action regarding the running of trains after an earthquake. Even the Indian Railways Permanent Way Manual and Indian Railways Bridge Manual, which govern the creation and management of civil engineering infrastructure, had no mention of any inspection to be conducted after an earthquake as a mechanism to ensure that no damage had occurred to tracks, bridges, the official said. Though the Research, Design and Standard Organization RDSO and the R&D arm of Railway in its guidelines on seismic design of railway bridges had suggested post-earthquake operation and inspection, it was not incorporated as a rule in G&SR book. Special camps to register workers on e-Shram portal. 21 centers to aid migrant workers reactivated. Union Labour and Employment Minister Bhupendra Yadav on Wednesday said special camps would be organized to register the brick kiln, plantation, forestry and other unorganized sector workers on the center's e-Shram portal. While interacting with the representatives of the unorganized sector unions and association virtually, Mr. Yadav acknowledged the problems faced by workers employed in brick kiln, forestry, plantations in getting themselves registered on the e-Shram portal, a ministry statement said. Mr. Yadav also thanked union leaders for their support in registering the workers. The portal, which was launched on August 21, August 2021 has over 23 crore registrations so far and eventually meant to lead the creation of a national database of unorganized workers to be used to roll out welfare schemes. In view of the rise of COVID-19 cases, he said the ministry had reactivated its 21 monitoring centers on January 5. The centers were set up in 2020 to address the problems of migrant workers during the lockdown. No foreign dignitary as chief guest at the Republic Day event. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will host a meeting with 5 Central Asian leaders virtually next week. The Ministry of External Affairs announced on Wednesday, formally indicating that they will not travel to Delhi as planned as chief guests at the Republic Day celebration. An official also confirmed that there will be no foreign dignitary as chief guest during the events around January 26. This is the second year in a row the government has had to cancel the invitation to chief guest due to COVID-19 pandemic after UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson was unable to attend the celebrations in 2021. The Ministry of External Affairs had not officially confirmed their presence, but sources said the presidents of Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan and Uzbekistan had in December accepted an invitation to jointly attend the parade and Republic Day reception. They were due to also participate in first India Central Asia Summit meeting during their visit to Delhi. Sources said proposal to this effect had been sent out to the presidents of the respective countries. The size of marching contingents at the Republic Day is down by about a third this year, and the route taken by them has also been reduced to a few kilometers from Vijay Chowk to National Stadium. And the size of audience is down from the usual 1.5 lakh to only 5,000 special invitees, including the officials and diplomats this year. The population of vulnerable eastern swamp deer extinct elsewhere in South Asia has dipped in Kaziranga National Park and Tiger Reserve. Officials attributed the decrease from 907 individuals in 2018 to 868 during the eastern swamp deer estimation on January 10 and 11 to two high floods in 2019 and 20. On the brighter side, they said, the animal is now distributed to areas beyond the park known as the world's best address of one-horned rhinoceros. The eastern swamp deer is endemic to Kaziranga and is not the primary prey of the park's carnivores, primarily the tiger, but its population is crucial for the ecological health of tiger reserves, and the encouraging sign is the animal has now moved to other areas such as Orang National Park and Lakhova Burachapuri Wildlife Sanctuaries. Kaziranga Field Director P. Sivakumar told, the eastern swamp deer was once concentrated in the central Kohora and Bagori ranges of Kaziranga. The animal had numbered 1,161 in 2011, while the lowest of 213 individuals were recorded in 1966. In the last survey, the female eastern swamp deer outnumbered the males by more than 3 times. The female of the species recorded 557 individuals compared to 173 males. The 1,302 square kilometer Kaziranga had an uptick in the number of waterfowl species from 112 counted a year ago to 126 during the 4th wetland bird estimation carried out from December 21 to 27. The birds were counted in 211 different points in 147 water bodies involving 35 enumeration teams, including volunteers from local educational institutions, NGOs, and officers and frontline staff of the Forest Department. The bar-headed goose topped the list with 16,552 birds, followed by northern pintail at 9,493, and the common teal at 5,631, and ferruginous duck, an important species with count 2,236, may be regarded as a highlight of estimation.